hold on tight. 'Cause you know tomorrow may not bring that same thing that you said last night. Woo! Every time I find a little peace of mind, I hold on tight. 'Cause tomorrow may not bring the very same thing. No, no, no. Said none of the right there. You that care all. Just for me, I'm so glad that you that care all. Just for me, I'm so glad that you that care all. For a sinner like me. Well, how you doing, Jennifer Florez?
I am well. I am very well. How are you, sir?
Simply fantastic, and thank you for asking. And I want to make sure it's Florez.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want
Florez.
to make sure I said that correctly. Why don't you just kind of show us or tell us a little bit about the women that were before you that you may know
Well, I will say that the first female firefighter, it was funny because I know during Chief Janelle's interview, he spoke of the first female coming on the job, and she got on in 1985. That was the same year I told my high school counselor, I'm like, he said, so what do you want to, basically, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I said, I want to be a fireman. And he blinked. He said, there are no females. Pick something else. And I had been thinking about this, since I was 7. So I'm like, oh, no. There have to be. I said, well, can you check? And he said, there are no female firemen. Pick something a girl can do. He was indignant. And so, I mean, he shattered my little heart. I was like, well, I could be a fighter pilot. He was done. I'm pretty sure he, packed up his bags that day and just quit. So Heather Larson was the first female on the job. So I stand on her shoulders. She went through quite a bit. And then there was a lady who was hired. I will say she was hired in maybe 95 or 96.
Okay.
But she didn't make it off probation. So once you become a firefighter, once you make it off probation, get through all the testing and the 4 firehouses that you have to go through to officially get on the fire department, then you're a firefighter. So, I give her credit for taking all the tests, the battery of tests that you have to take to get on the fire department and then get to the academy. But you have to make it through the entire process. So God bless her, and I wish her well.
From what you're saying, just maybe a tidbit more of who this person was. It seems like you're coming across that whoever this one, you said you stand on her shoulder. And I just was wondering what the connection was, that you have with this particular firefighter.
And it's funny because I never met her. She was on and gone before I got there. But she was still, because the Colorado Black Professional Firefighters and the fire department as well, they were pushing. They were like, we have no Black females, 0, and it doesn't make any sense, So not having any, because our population in Denver was much more than just one female representing all Black females in Denver on the fire department. So the fact that she went through all the tests and passed everything, because I went through the same thing.
Right.
Uh, Back then it was Kurgan Hall. And so it wasn't an online testing thing. You can go, you went down to the Civil Service Commission. Now they have a bank of computers, and you sit and you take your test. When we did it, the first year when I showed up for the test, there was a sea of people. There were 2,500 people that took that test that year. And so when I walked up to Kurgan Hall, which
Wow.
is now the convention center, Colorado Convention Center, I should I talked myself out of even passing, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't compete against all these people. And that's not what it was about anyway, which I learned over the next year, took the next test and passed. But she did the same thing. So she went through she got through the 2,500 people, and got on the job. Went through the physical agility test, the background check, the psychological, all of the things, the oral board committee, all the things you have to do to even get to the plate to swing the bat.
Okay.
So she did those things first. And so I have respect for her. I've never had a conversation with her. I didn't meet her before or after. So, but the next woman I did meet, and her name is Deborah Bass, and that lady was a BA, strong as a bull, but just like slender and just an amazing woman. So life took her in a different direction. She did not stay on the job, but again, I had a lot of respect for her as well.
Of course, we're going to hear that she could run circles around the fella. And okay, so let's get into you. And could you first maybe tell our audience a little bit, like where you're from, where you went to school, and how you really got into this profession of yours?
Yeah, I am a Denver native. There aren't many of us. Come to find out, we're the unicorns, really. I grew up in Montbello. I went to the firehouse all the time, and I think Chief Janelle said that he's like, I'm pretty sure that was you that came to the firehouse all the time, because I would ride my bike there. Any excuse I could think of, ride my bike there. I have a new license plate to put on. Can you guys put it on my bike? I think I have a flat tire. Maybe you guys could check. And I was young. I was a little kid. We moved out of Montbello when I was 9. So this probably, a couple of years that I would go to the firehouse. But at some point, our class, probably our Sunday school class during the summer, went for a tour, and the firefighter who came to the door, and back then, it was firemen, right? So the fireman that came to the door was like, hey guys, how are you? He was like, oh my God, come on in. We were like, it was like the greatest thing ever. It's like we walked into Disneyland, because we got to climb on the fire truck and the fire engine and put on the stuff, and it was great. And at some point, this man said, you can do this too when you get big. And I thought, okay, I had ponytails down to here. He wasn't talking to me. It was 1974. He wasn't talking to me. But he said, but I didn't know that. I'm a kid. I believe that guy. So I was like, okay, well, I'm done. So I told very few adults, because the ones I told were like, oh, that's so cute. Now go play with your dolls. And so it wasn't, because it wasn't it wasn't a thing back then that there were female firefighters. And there are still people to this day that do not know there are female firefighters. People that came up while I was on the job, and they were like, oh, what are you doing? Or they'll ask, so what do you do for the fire department? I run into the burning building right there. That's what I do.
It is not a normal thing. It's like, if you think of a fire and the house burning, and could be a guy like me laying in there. What you gonna do? I mean,
even in my own mind, what are you gonna do with a man laying there that needs help or something?
Extensive training, and you have to be able to do the job. To piggyback on a lot of what Chief Janelle said, when they used to have the height requirement, and they used to have those things, but but we still take the same test, the same physical agility test, and working out. I mean, I loved working out, and I was a big on leg day, so having upper body and lower body strength, but being able to pick up 160-pound dummy during training, and being able to drag that dummy across, at least, I think it was 250 feet at the time.
Wow.
But here's the thing, though, because you hopefully don't, you never go into the building by yourself. So having a team of people to be able to get that person out, that's what it's for. At least 2 in, 2 out. My dad was like, you no, you can't do that. Like, Dad, he said, it's too dangerous. I said, but the training we get, they teach us how to get out of situations. So, it's not just getting into the building, it's also getting out. And very importantly, getting out. Not just, the person we're in there to help rescue or assist, but also to get ourselves out and our fellow firefighters. So the training week that we receive is amazing, and I think Denver is one of the top, of course.
Okay. You talking to Mr. Janelle there? I guess the boats are and in Colorado. You all are just yeah. Okay.
I don't want to. Phenomenal training, and our facility is great. So we're taught how to extricate ourselves from a building, or breach a wall, or things that will assist you, and the mental state that you have to be in when you go in, slow everything down. So while you're acting quickly, you still have to concentrate. You still have to be able to make that decision. Okay, I did I go left or right coming in here? So they teach you all of that, and it's really, and then you, like you said, if you're in there, what am I going to do? I'm going to get you out. So whether I have to, hey, so let's go. So there's no follow the sound of my voice. I'm where there's no fire. We don't do that. we get in there and we get you out.
I've actually been in buildings that were on fire.
Oh, yes.
And if our audience don't know by now, if I'm saying this correctly, you are the first Black retiree female retiree of the Denver department. Did I label that right, or would you like to say that again? You are the what?
I am the first Black female to retire from the Denver Fire Department. 25 years. Yes.
Is that a first and only?
It unfortunately first and only. Yes, first and only Black female. There's a young lady who just got off probation, so she has a little over a year on, and she's great. She's about the same age I was when I came on. I was 30 when I got on, and she's 32. She's awesome, very athletic. She's about 6 inches taller than I am. So, but she's just and same attitudes, like, oh my God, I'm just so excited to be here. So the attitude on the job is a very big thing. Just being excited to go to work every day. Our house, you cook every day, you do all of those things. But as far as being the only retiree, it's kind of sad. This is an opportunity that I know that many young ladies don't know about. It's just because it's non-traditional. Of crews there's a 4-person crew. The majority of the 4-person crews that you see are all males, whether there are minorities in there or not, people of color on that crew or not. Our crew, our crews out in Montbello when I was on, they were, I mean, we had black, white, Hispanic, female, so it was awesome. We had a phenomenal firehouse crew, and the mix was amazing.
I understood is that firefighters have to stay like on the job 2 days on or 2 days off. You all have to eat together. You have to, I don't know. I mean, not like,
I
but you
I
got to
know where
have,
you're going.
yeah. How do a woman fit in an environment that's designed for all men?
Bunks are in the same room, so everyone is clothed. Okay, so because you have to be ready to jump out of bed, get your gear on. So we have t-shirts and shorts. The fire department issued Denver Fire Department on the back and the badge on the front, and then shorts to work out in. So you are always ready to leave a firehouse. So you jump in your gear and you leave at 2 in the morning. Dorm rooms, but like at Station 27, everyone had their individual room, bathroom designated for female. In some of the firehouses, like Station 3 is pretty old. You have to, fellas, stay out, taking a shower. But any new fire station is completely set up for a female to come in, and she'll have her own facility. So they're very accommodating now.
Well, you brought up some other points too that we kind of hopped over. When you said there's a certain height, did you, as a female, did you meet the height?
They got rid of all of that. I'm
Okay.
5'6". We have guys on the job that are shorter than I am. So there's not a height requirement really, and there's not an age requirement. So if you can do the job, then you're invited to come out and try for the Denver Fire Department. We have a couple of gentlemen that came on when they were in their 40s. Truly a performance-driven job. So if you are physically able and well able to perform the job, then come on out.
It sounds like you're a recruiter for the
I
department, or
I
more
am.
so, it sounds like you really want to let young females know that there's opportunity right here. There's a way in for you right here to have a career, be self-sufficient, and all of that.
Now than it was when I was on when I got on, as far as just the pay in general, because we get paid very well on the fire department, and I mean, and same with police. You're you're putting your life on the line. I have zero desire to carry a gun, because if I have a gun and you have a gun, I'm going home today. So so that was not my calling specifically.
Okay.
But running into the burning building with a team of people, it's amazing. And then you also, you go on medical calls and other things, but there are so many opportunities. And then also there are different teams that, and I'll call them that. There are different divisions that you can be a part of. There's arson division. So the fire investigation division, that's arson. They do a lot of things. So they actually go through the police academy, and they carry guns because they are allowed to arrest people. So I thought if I was going to carry a gun, that would be the only way. But still, that's just not a good idea. Back to the shift. So we work a 24-hour shift. So it's 1 day on and 2 days off. So it's called the Kelly Day system. And the reason why it's called that is because you choose a Kelly Day, or you're given a Kelly Day. So if you pick Friday, every 3 weeks, when your shift falls on a Friday, you get that Friday off. So every 3 weeks, you have 5 days off. So depending on where you are in the city and how busy you are. The closer you get to downtown, the busier the firehouse. So, but like Station 8 is in Capitol Hill. They run all day long, all night long. And so your first day off is recouping. You are resting and recovering. So people have kids and things like that, so they do what they do, but they have the entire day off. Day is, it is whatever. But for me, I was so excited that I had 2 days off. I'm like, I get to do anything. So Tuesday, you can go up to the hill and go skiing if you want to. There's no one there because it's Tuesday. A lot of firefighters have what you call a day off job. So we have paramedics, there are attorneys, people who do artwork, school, and they get their degrees. I mean, there's so much opportunity. It's just one opportunity for our young people now, because now they understand, you know what, I can do anything I want to, and there's no one who can tell me I can't. We have people breaking the color barrier, the sex barrier all the time. There are women like you can be a neurosurgeon, you can be a rocket scientist. I think are fields where they see people who look like them. There aren't a lot of people who look like me on the fire department. There was an article just recently about 3 young ladies actually on the Aurora Fire Department.
Okay.
And yeah, and I think that is phenomenal. And I don't know how long. I think the one who's been on there the longest is 11 years. I have to get in touch with them. I just so I can go and hug their necks and say, hey, I'm so glad for you. That this is an opportunity not just for young Black women, but for people of color, people who just have never been encouraged to do something that they didn't think was an opportunity, because the majority of our department are white males, and some crews are all white. And so if that's all you see, then sometimes it's just not encouraging. You love seeing us, no matter what the crew looks like. It's like, oh my gosh, the fire truck is here. This is awesome. This is great. Because that's the same way I felt. Every time we go to the store, and I'm like, it was awesome. When I was in high school, I was told you can't because you're female. And I had not yet seen a female on the fire department. And my mom and I were in the car one day, and we're getting ready to go into a Blockbuster Video. That's how long ago this was.
That's a while back.
Yes, it was. So we're sitting. There was a very minor accident across the street while we were sitting there, and the fire engine pulled up. It was engine 15, and it stopped, and this little chick jumped off the rig, and I was so upset. I mean, I'm happy for her, but I was so upset, and I started crying. My mom was like, "What is the matter with you?" But my mom was a BA. She graduated high school at 16, college at 20, integrated her nursing school in Dallas, sat in the front of the bus before Rosa Parks did. She got promoted to head nurse back in the 70s. I mean, but it's very organic. She just kind of, wandered into this, and she's like, well, this is just the way it is. So when it came to me, she's like, you can do anything you want, but I never told her I wanted to be a firefighter, because I didn't want to hear her say, you can't do it, just like the other adults had said. So when I started crying, and I'm like, see, I knew there was a female, and she said, oh, honey, you should have told me. We would have had you there a long time ago. So, but God's timing is wonderful. So that was the pivotal point when I started really researching and finding ways to get on. And one of the ladies, I was working in the governor's office at the time, and one of the ladies there met recruiter, Ray Whittington. He is a bishop now, Bishop Ray Whittington.
I know.
I figured you did.
Pete.
Yeah, you call him what?
Pete.
Pete?
Pete. That's what he was. he was talking one time. He said that I was probably the only person that still call him Pete, but he's Pete. But
That's
anyway, yeah, I know who you're talking.
so
Very love him to death.
he came to there was a ceremony where I was presented uh, an award for being the first to retire, and he showed up and then he had to leave. So, but it was awesome to see him. But he came to the office and he gave me all the information. And at the time, I made a $16,000 jump in salary, and now I mean I can't. It's just it's I
How? Wait. What's the
yeah,
age limit?
you're right.
What kind of test do I have to take? You say I just have to pull 160 pounds?
Well, and it might be a little more now, yeah. So, but
Okay.
it's such a blessing. It is such a blessing to be on the job. And I didn't have I had very few issues with with race. You know, I didn't have any I didn't have people I've never had anyone ever before or since I've been on the job call me the N word. Not ever. I've had people do things, but then I address them right away, and we handled it one on one, and then it was done. You
Well,
know.
I'm glad you probably didn't have that gun because
Oh,
I don't know.
see,
I don't really know you, but just from the way you've been taught, yeah, we're gonna meet one on one. We'll handle this.
we'll meet out at the flagpole after
Yeah,
school.
yeah. That's what it sounds like.
Just want people to know that it is your attitude coming into the job. So now having it, and I hate saying this, but having a chip on your shoulder walking in is the wrong way to do it, because we had people who would interview for, because I was on several oral board committees while I was on the fire department, and people would come in, so like, ooh, dude, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. Or we had one young man, he was Latino, and the chief on the oral board was Latino. He shook all of our hands, ma'am, how are you? Sir, how are you? Sir, how are you? And then he went to the chief as he was shaking his hand. I'm like, so he afterwards he's like, did you see that guy? He bottled me. I'm like, oh boy, oh, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. So there's a time and place for everything. But it's such a good opportunity. And I'm so excited that there's a young lady on there now. And she's amazing. So she and it was cute because she after the ceremony, she helped my mom to the car. I'm like, oh, you're so cute. That's so awesome. The dollars, but it's $75,000 after you've gotten to first grade, and that takes you about 3 years. And then you go up from there, depending on if you go up in rank, but you always get longevity. But when you go up in rank, you earn a certain amount. So it's it there are people with degrees, master's degrees, who are not making that kind of money. And I just want our young people to know, especially like single parents, they have to know this is an opportunity. And there's a network of parents, because you work a 24-hour shift. If you're a single mom, then connect with another single mom, or connect with one of the spouses. We have a better halves group. So the wives, they're mostly wives, but they can connect with them and watch their kids instead of, or whatever it is. But it's just so amazing.
Some young lady is going to see this and get excited. You know, I got excited just listening, and it's an honor to me to be talking to you. You know, I mean, really, it's a milestone, just like Roderick. You know, those are milestones right here in our lifetime. And when you understand about the Denver Fire Department, when you
Right.
really understand how hard probably was for Janelle to get through, for you to get through, and then hold it with respect and dignity. That I think I take my hat off to you, and thank you for your service.
Thank you so much. Didn't need to touch on this, but I just conquered cancer. Had a surgery January 31st, but well, okay, I retired in September, got my diagnosis in October, and then radiation and chemo that got rid of almost all of it, including what was in the lymph nodes, which the radiologist was like, what? So he was shocked. But the Lord had already told me my healing was going to overtake my treatment. So he did exactly what he said he was going to do. I had a little bit of cancer still left. So they did a full hysterectomy to get rid of it. But by the time they sent, what they removed to the pathologist, he said, there's no cancer here. Like, that's because God said he was going to take care of it. And he did. So there.
You know what?
So,
I'm going to tell you this right now. I know you didn't have to bring that up, but it's brought up.
Yes.
And that is a testimony in itself.
It is.
It really is. And I like the way that you are saying how the Lord healed. And I know doctors and medicines, they all work together, but
yes,
God has the finishing hand in all of it.
He does.
I am really glad that I met you. And I pray that you have a beautiful life here. I pray that none of those other things come against you. I'll be praying for you and your family.
I receive that. I receive it.
Jennifer Florez, I am really glad that you answered the call. I'm glad that you took that time with us. I congratulate you again on the first and only Black female retiree of the Denver Fire Department. I also did hear about what was going on over there at St. Stephen's, and I was out of town during that time. This is an opportunity for our people. You just happen to be a female, you're a pioneer, you done broke through, and I thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time today as well. And I do want to let everyone know that the Denver Fire Department is hiring. Just want you to know that. So if you have anyone who wants more information, then just get them in touch with me and I will send them in the right direction.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, another episode of Where Were You? And we would like to thank our guests for this evening. Also want to thank New Me. New Me helps sponsor Where Were You? So go on and check it out. New Me /Arkway. Also, go on and hit that like. Go on and hit subscribe. Go on and hit that share. Go on and leave a comment. And if you find anyone that has a story, let me know. And hey, you bless someone today.